a burger bar in Leeds.
Yeah. I've
Use Maddie McCann.
It got a little bit too hairy. First time I ever said, I think I've gone too far here. If you've got a social media team sat there and all they're doing is going, oh fuck, it's Pride Week next week, we need to do something. That's shit. You shouldn't be doing that.
You managed to get George on a call.
And it wasn't us trying to get through to copywriters to, take advantage of their skills without paying them.
Yeah, and the prick then said he didn't think it was being recorded. This is a platform where you can have different views with people and you don't have to abuse them.
Fuck his views, get rid of him.
This is the Views My Own podcast, where we share our honest views on sales and marketing and hopefully help you improve your business. Standing out from the crowd isn't easy. With everybody competing for attention, some businesses might be tempted to use shot tactics to be seen. But the question is, does it work? Is any publicity good publicity? Or do some marketers go too far? I believe there is too far when it comes to a marketing campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw one recently that supported this thing. So I was online and I saw a burger bar in Leeds.
Yeah. I've
use Maddie McCann as the sort of face of their burgers. And I thought that kind of oversteps the mark. For me, it's like, that's too far.
I suppose, but then what's your opinion on, because you've got Cards Against Humanity, right? And one of their arguably most controversial card, I don't know if they've done more since, but is the Madeleine McCann card.
Yeah.
And they've used that in their marketing. What's the difference between this guy using them for his burgers and a card company using them? Because nobody seems to be asked about that. Because it's Cards Against Humanity. You're allowed to offend people. That's the purpose of it, right?
Yeah.
But yet a guy with burgers does it and everyone kicks off.
See, I've never seen them use that in their actual advertising. I've actually played the game and I've got that card before and used that as an answer to a question. Yeah. But I would have seen like this is going out there to everybody. Mm-hmm. It's quite insensitive. Is that what they wanted? Probably, isn't it? They want to incite people, it make people angry, get people sharing it.
I mean, I suppose so. You could argue that putting that card in there, because I think one of the beauties of Cards Against Humanity was that they did it because they knew that people would share those cards and they'd share their own, things that they put together from those cards. And that's kind of the beauty of it. That's part of the marketing. Yeah. So they have arguably used it in their marketing, regardless of whether they use it in an actual advert. I think that's the same effect. All right, okay, he's blatantly put it on a pretty badly designed social media meme. But,
he's got form as well. He's done stuff with Jimmy Savile. He's done stuff with Pete Sutcliffe.
Yeah, the Father's Day
Howard
thing.
Shipman.
Yeah, Gaddafi.
Fritzl.
All the good fathers of the world.
Weirdly, I think that impacts me less. That one. I don't know why it does. I don't know if it's because it's.
I think it does.
Girl,
I think it does. I think because the Maddie McCann thing is like that's treading on a child there. There's nothing funny about a child going missing, right? But I think the other guys, I think it. See, we've used people in our market. We've used like Rolf Harris, for instance, in our actual employee handbook.
Yeah. Right.
Which some people would say too far. We had a few people boot off about it. That's actually one of the reasons I got kicked off LinkedIn for a bit. Whereas what people don't realise is I think if you're using a figure like that in your marketing, you're actually ridiculing them. You're taking the piss out of them. I don't see that as a bad thing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that paedophilia is a good thing. I'm taking the piss out of Rolf Harris. Obviously, we don't want our employees to mimic Rolf Harris.
Yeah.
But it's funny saying that's who we look to for our art direction.
Yeah, so do you think then it's like that punching down thing that you just said? Is that the thing?
Yeah, I think it's just, I suppose you've got our certain rules, haven't you? We always have kind of, don't tread on the underdog is one of our rules. And kind of always kind of go after the kind of bigger man, if you can. And I suppose Madeleine McCann in this instance is the underdog. Maybe that's why it's not as funny and it leaves a bit of a bad taste in people's mouths.
Yeah, I think so. It's almost like it can't be defended, I don't think. But then I'd be interested to see, has he sold more burgers off the back of it? A lot of people saying, well, I wouldn't go in there to eat their burgers. You wouldn't have known that shop existed. It's not really turning off people that wouldn't go there.
Yeah, I really don't think it would, because I've got to ask myself whether, is that, we've done some pretty controversial shit in our time. And I suppose it depends on how easily you are offended and how seriously you take everything that everybody says. Would I not try a burger from his van because of that ad? No. I mean, I'd quite happily have a burger from his van. And I'm not sure that many people are that offended that they wouldn't eat there.
No, really?
I actually think that it's probably made enough attention. They've got enough attention off people that aren't as bothered about really dark humour.
Yeah.
That will eat there. But it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, because
maybe we should ask him.
I wouldn't eat there. Just looking at his beard.
Yeah,
Is that the reason?
His beard puts me off. Look at that. You want a burger off that man?
I asked a few people on LinkedIn, is there such thing as bad publicity? And most people said yes, like, you know, you can do campaigns that actually damage your brand. Do you think this has damaged his brand? Weirdly, I'd never heard of this brand or this campaign until I specifically was looking around.
Well, that's the point. That's the point. And asking, is it damaged his brand? He didn't have a brand in the first place to damage.
Yeah.
He's trying to build one, right? So the funny thing is, if a big brand like H&M or can get away with the whole, you know, that cheeky monkey T-shirt, if Chris Brown can still sell records after tap dancing on Rihanna's face, the reality is people forget very quickly. Yeah. And they forget, and that's when it's big brands and superstars. They forget the minute they see something that's convenient to them. So an H&M dress that they like, or they listen to a song that's from Chris Brown that they like, they'll forget because people are fucking idiots, right? Yeah. Whereas for smaller brands, if people are going to forget about stuff that bigger brands do, for smaller brands, that even this won't have touched everyone. Most people won't have heard of it. Yeah. If this went really tits up and didn't sell any burgers, and he left it for a few months and then came back with some new, nicer marketing, no one ever will forget because there was no brand. There's no brand to damage. He hasn't built one yet.
Yeah, I'd be interesting to see actually what his sales have been like since, but he's got himself in the newspaper.
Do you think it's easier for smaller businesses to be a bit more edgy and push the boundaries a little? I guess because if BP do this and it affects share prices, then they're in big trouble, aren't they?
That's the difference, right? But they should be. And this is what I never get, is that smaller brands a lot of the time take less risks than bigger brands. Yeah. They're all safe. They're all doing the same saturated shit. They're all looking at the competitors to churn out the same shit that they're churning out because they think it's going to work. And actually, the risk is never as risky as you think it's going to be when you're a small business. Things blow over. They blow over of huge brands, like you say, with where a 1% drop can fuck, you know, shareholders over and cause all sorts of problems, right? For small brands, you don't have that problem, especially ones that don't have a brand.
So is there a line then? So that it's being risky. Like I don't think, say, KFC using fuck as their sort of, that's not risky at all. I don't think. No. I think that's quite fun. It doesn't offend anybody. Yeah. But using,
you'd be surprised, I think, though.
Eh?
You'd be surprised, I think.
What, you think some people would complain about that?
Well, they had to take that. You know that they did that advert with the chicken. It was like rather than using fucking, it was just using clucking all the time. Yeah, not really that intelligent, by the way. But that was taken down. It's complained about that many times that they took it down.
Yeah, see, that blows my mind. If you're complaining about the word clucking being used instead of fucking, you probably wouldn't like this Maddie McCann campaign. Like, in my mind, they're not even on the same scale. This is like the worst sort of. This is the worst example of marketing, I would say. Not the worst of all time, but like this type of marketing is the worst type of marketing. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I think that is too far.
But I don't. I agree with you. I agree with you. But then you've got to ask yourself: does it result in more burger sales? Would it stop me buying a burger? Probably not. And the reality is as well is that when the amount of complaints it takes to take down an advertising campaign isn't actually that many.
Oh, isn't it?
No, so it's only a small, and because people don't get as offended as you think they do. There's not that many people complaining. I mean, I remember my nana once complaining about call the midwife, because she used to be a midwife, and she said that's absolutely nothing like what it was like back in the day, and they were falsifying everything, even though it's fucking fiction.
TV program.
Yeah. So she wrote into the BBC, and then she got angry when
points of view.
They never came back to her. So yeah, I mean, people writing for weird shit, but I think when something gets taken down, it's actually probably not caused as much damage as you think it has. Sometimes that's actually a good thing that gets taken down because it gets talked about more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is that happens quite a lot. People talk more about the thing that happened than the actual original thing. You know, what happened as a repercussion.
I guess it's similar with comedy, and I guess as marketers, you try and bring humour into your marketing, and the line of what's funny and what's not anymore. You've got people deciding now whether a comedian's gone too far. Is that filtering through into your world now?
I would say one thing about this. I've heard the comedy thing. Well, comedians can say jokes about whatever they want, but essentially, most comedians are performing live from stage, and anything you're seeing has been filmed at a live stage. So everybody, or you'd hope everybody that was going there, or most people going there, like the comedian or know full well what they're letting themselves in for. So I think that's slightly different. So if I'm on Facebook and I get a targeted ad with Madeleine McCann advertising burgers, I've not gone on Facebook looking for that content or wanting to see that content. If I go to see Dave Chappelle in concert, I'm there because I know what I'm going to get, or I know what he's going to talk about. So I think I don't think they're comparable.
If anyone gets a Madeleine McCann ad through Facebook and Instagram advertising, by the way, you're my hero. because that's impressive. We've got some pretty risky ads through, but I don't think we could ever get that.
What's the riskiest one you've ever done then, or where do you think have you got an example of where you might have actually overstepped the mark looking back now with hindsight?
Yeah. I mean, the riskiest ad we ever got through, which I was surprised I got through, was a cum jar.
Wow.
So they wanted an advert advertising for what was described in the briefing meeting as creative juice. So my head straight away went to right, easy. So we had a rubber glove with a cum pot, and just on the cum pot it said creative juice, and it said we need more creative juice. Donate now by visiting. Yeah, right. And that got through. They didn't plot that at all. They must have thought it was like a sperm donation ad or something. I don't know. Right. So that's but the worst one I ever regretted was when I had that Theresa May CV ready to go when she resigned.
Yeah,
that was a piece of our advertising, and I think that hit that got close to. I think that was veering on 15,000 likes by the end of the day. Yeah. In one day. But then it got over to the States, and there was like feminist groups on it and stuff like that going mad because I said she modelled her haircut on Bjorn from ABBA, and there's just daft stuff in it, but it got a little bit too hairy to the point where that's the first time I ever said, I think I've gone too far here. I have gone in on her. I thought it was funny, but evidently not. And I was kind of, even my missus at the time said, you're going to end up on Holly and Film Monday if you don't take that down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like getting that bad.
And is that because of comments? Yeah, the amount of shit you were getting from overseas.
Yeah, it's bad, yeah.
It's funny because if you'd have took the piss out of Boris's haircut,
yeah,
I don't think anyone blinks, do they?
No, I mean, I've read the CV back. There's some bits that are a bit harsh on it, but it's not horrendous. It's mostly taking the piss out of the dress dance and the dancing, but because of the world we live in, and I agree, you can't do that. You can't ridicule a woman's
It's
appearance.
interesting you said that, because, and that's kind of why I feel like this is different to the Father's Day campaign that they ran. Is it because it's a female and it's a child? Do you have different rules for whoever's the perceived target in marketing? Because taking the piss out of Boris seems fair game, but in reality, if you're going to say that that's the rule, it shouldn't be fair game, really. You know, do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
But I get people say, "Oh, like Gammons, they're protected," all that type of thing. But that is a group that people punch down on quite a lot. But it seems like that's an acceptable group to punch down on.
I mean, I suppose my argument is years of oppression and colonialism. They deserve it.
Yeah, but
you know, we can, as a white man of privilege, you know, who's straight and whatever else. Fact of the matter is, it might not have been my fault, and it might not have been me in the past, but it's still kind of our group that has a lot of making up to do, and showing the world that we are different.
Yeah.
And until that happens, this is always going to happen. I think we've got to take it on the chin a little bit.
Yeah.
Out of interest, where did they put that ad?
I believe it was Facebook. I mean, I don't.
So like he posted it on his own personal page.
No.
So do you think that goes up on LinkedIn? That gets complained about and taken down, right?
He's banned off LinkedIn.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
that's an instant.
If I can get 11 months banned for saying elf porn, the phrase elf porn, you're definitely getting banned from.
Yeah,
I've been Maddie McCann trying to flog your burgers.
Yeah, that's an
I actually went and looked for him on LinkedIn, and he's not got that many followers or whatever. And the only post that he'd done in the last sort of 3 months was someone had connected with him and he'd screenshot the DMs, and the guy said, I've not connected with you because I like what you do. I just want to let you know that I've got a child. You think you're hard, I'm going to come down to your burger place and punch your face in, basically. And the guy responded that Joe Scully, replied saying, well, come on then, you know where I am, if you're that hard. And then screenshot it, and that was his post. And he was like playing the victim. He wrote, oh, this isn't a very nice man, like abuse me because of my marketing. But I think you kind of know full well that's what you're trying to do. He's actually deleted that post now, by the way.
And do you think since your deletion from LinkedIn, we've kind of toned down collectively, as I am, what we'd put on there, certainly with the entrepreneur stuff, etc., just because it seems so easily to be removed? Would you ever tone down your marketing? Have you done that consciously, subconsciously, do you think?
Already have, mate. Already have. Now I use 1 fuck per post rather than 4.
But I've even noticed in like the kind of examples of what you'd use, you know, where you use like funny examples of things, or
you can't do. So one thing I realised is if you want to do like a proper kind of innuendo, it's got to be clever. Do you know what I mean? Or it's got to be something that somebody can't point out and go, you said penis there, so I'll use custard cannon rather than penis, or you can't. You can get away with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's particularly. One thing I've seen people get banned for in particular is either going after someone directly in the comments or doing something that's sexually or sexual related.
That's interesting. We did a video for a tent hire company, Ian Griffiths. In the video, we just make a play on he erects tents, and there was a little erection noise.
Yeah, genius. Oh, yeah.
And that got taken down. That got took off. And that was in the middle of the video as well, wasn't
it? Yeah.
And so from that, we had to take because we didn't want client videos being taken down, we took all of that humor out of the videos. But then you start to get sort of the same corporate stuff that you didn't want that doesn't stand out. So it's tricky, isn't it?
I wouldn't even like that. That's not like going too far at all. That's like you're watering down your marketing so much because you don't even want to upset the bots or the algorithm or whatever it is that's running the decision makers at these social media platforms. So that's how I find it mad. How at one end of the scale you've got a guy that businesses puts up marquees. Not allowed to use the word erection in his adverts. Yeah. Then you've got like Maggie McCann and Gaddafi and Fritzl being used in an ad campaign at the far end, and that seems fine to a lot of people. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
But then equally, those people that were complaining about erection aren't going to be complaining about that advert. They would have complained because they just don't like you, or they just don't like your brand, or they just don't like your business. I think.
Yeah, potentially.
So is anything off limits then? Are we saying
honestly,
women and children?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not for. It depends. Well, it depends which. I mean, some of the kids I know are little shits. So I mean, maybe it depends, mate. I think of course there should be things off limits in our opinion, but as a marketer, there are different brands and different boundaries you can push. I mean, if it's a product like Cards Against Humanity that you're selling, you'd expect the adverts to be offensive, you know. We're doing.
I've never seen an advert for them ever.
We're supposed to be potentially doing a bit of work on someone that's doing like accessories for South Park, and you'd expect that you could go pretty far with that marketing, and you wouldn't expect the tone of voice in that marketing to be safe. That would probably offend some people, but it probably also offends the people that wouldn't watch South Park.
Yeah.
So.
Don't
fucking matter, does it?
So I think in your book, Dan, available at all good bookstores, you said something.
It's not Amazon. It's not Amazon. It's the only place I can afford to put it.
I think you said certainly the line I took away was you can push the boundaries far more than you think you can as a small business owner. You've never done marketing before, and that sort of resonated with me, and we did try and push it. Do you think that still stands today with the way platforms are kind of being more like sterile with what you can put out?
Yeah, because you know what the beauty of that is every time people put in new rules, smart people find ways around them.
Yeah.
So the beauty of it is if you're a small business, right, and you're able to outsmart your competition by figuring ways of putting riskier marketing out there down different channels, then you win.
That's what I was going to say about the different channels thing. You can almost be a bit more closer to wherever that line is in different channels. Like if you're doing a butt plug campaign on LinkedIn, it's probably not going to do very well.
No.
But you could do that as a billboard campaign somewhere else. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah. Honestly,
a billboard campaign.
Mate, you'll be surprised.
I've seen like a couple of your examples.
You'll be surprised, right? You'll be surprised.
Have you not seen that?
Talk about ad campaigns or butt plugs.
So it's for a recruitment company. It said, find your perfect fit.
It said nothing feels better than finding the right fit.
Right.
Yeah.
But
you wouldn't have done that post on LinkedIn.
No, I'll tell you what, you'll be surprised what independent billboard providers will let you put up.
Oh wow, really?
For this, because they don't fill the spots. Yeah. So you say, listen, I'll pay double the amount while putting a butt plug on there. They go, fair enough. That's my mortgage paid for.
So I think you can actually push it, and you can be a little bit further than you would think would be acceptable. You've just got to pick the right platform or place to be doing that.
Yeah.
Brands asking people to work for free has become increasingly common. Recently, we've seen claims that companies like Brewdog have used a campaign without giving credit, and Dating App Thursday asking for billboard ideas without payment. Traditionally, the creative industry has pitched their work for free, hoping to get a paid gig. But things do seem to be changing, but that begs the question, should creators ever accept unpaid work?
Should creatives ever really be working for free?
I don't think you should ever be working for free. My problem isn't with that, and that wasn't why I was booting off with Thursday. My problem with that is when brands ask people to work for free, I think there's a massive difference. If you're a young person and you're wanting to do some free advertising for someone, to show them what you can do, or you want to do, you've got a brand that you aspire to work for, and you do some advertising for that, hoping that it'll bring you into more opportunities. Fucking go ahead and do it. It's your own time. You've decided if you're on the call. If you've got a brand that's coming out there like Thursday, going right, we're looking for taglines. These are the colours we want you to design it in. Go, do your best, and the best one will get featured on our advert. That's a brand manipulating young, impressionable creatives who are looking for opportunities, and that's bullshit.
But the flip side of that is, for those young creatives, that might be their big break. If they get the Thursday gig, they're going to get loads of paid stuff. So I can see why a lot of people would do that. Mm-hmm. And I also know of businesses that will go, they might look at, say, Gymshark, they might look at Huel, they might look at those types of companies and go, we do videos, or we do animated explainer videos, or we do whatever it might be, and go, we're going to create an advert for them and put that out as a piece of content to hopefully get noticed by that company or companies of a similar ilk and size to win business off that.
Yeah, I mean, What I'd say to kind of young creators, though, we're looking for that opportunity. Don't do it for that fucking brand. You're doing some free work. Just use that creativity that you've got. Do some amazing content. Build your own audience and get opportunities from that. The opportunities will be miles better, and there'll be loads of them, right? Don't just chance it on doing work for big brands for free that they've asked for. I just because one of the biggest skills you can learn as a young creative, right? Because a lot of you are going to go freelance. I'd say probably the vast majority of you nowadays. Is learn to fucking charge for what you do.
Yeah.
Honestly, the only time I've ever done free work for brands is when I'm taking the piss out of them. I'm doing brochures and I rinse the brands. Like I've charged for every piece of work since day dot, and some of it was shit. I was charging whilst learning.
Yeah.
Learn those, because they're two really important skills. It's not just, you can be as creative as you want, but if you can't charge for it, you're gonna be skinned.
That's what happens with a lot of people, doesn't it? Especially when they are freelance. They're actually decent at the work part of it. They just can't attract any clients themselves, which is ironic because a lot of them are like good copywriters or good at marketing. They just can't do it for their own business. No. Or find money awkward. I don't want to start, what am I really worth? And I don't want to. So they do work, even when they do charge, that it doesn't cover what it costs them all the time and the effort and stuff like that. So
it is hard asking people for money. You do feel guilty. So, especially creatives, you don't actually respect your own work, so you think you're charging for a pile of shit.
Have you seen some of the stuff that Brewdog was doing? Where they were actually getting people to come in and pitch an interview, like actual marketing strategies for like 6-12 months sort of marketing plan.
They were doing it to agencies, and they were doing it to creatives who were interviewing for jobs. And then these marketing things, like you said it on the call to the lad from Thursday, but they were basically stockpiling ideas. And using them in later campaigns. So they're thinking is, if I get someone in an interview here, come in with a really good campaign, and we use it 2 years later, no one's going to notice.
Yeah, well, that was the thing that I had when we actually spoke to George, that was the CEO of Thursday, and obviously he did that billboard post on LinkedIn asking for people to have their go at like writing the copy for that billboard. That's what I said. What happens to all the people that you don't pick? And they would they would stockpile all the best ones.
Of course you would. If that guy gets 20 good ideas in there, 20-minute taglines, he will use them eventually.
Yeah,
it will happen. I would. You would, because they're good ideas, and they're going to market your brand and sell it more and get more downloads. Because so of course he's going to use them.
So is that when you pitch to a business, will you pitch to them all the ideas that you've got, or because when you're doing billboard campaigns with like sort of big brands, how does that work?
Honestly, we've stopped doing it because one thing that we found is
they can steal your ideas as well. I mean, they go, we're not interested. But
we used to when we first for the last, it's only still recently really, for the last year and a half since Offended was born, we've been going in and pitching proposals with proposed creative prior to signing a deal, right? And then we scrapped all that. Apart from for enterprise level clients, because we thought, well, it's worth going in there for these big clients to see if we can win them. And the conversion is actually higher, because the problem with creative and working on a campaign, because we were just doing it speculatively. We haven't done our market research properly yet. We haven't had time. We haven't interviewed the client.
So you mean when you were just like throwing some slogans together and then going into the meeting? It was just like
going in with a proposed creative. Exactly. Right. Yeah, we're just saying this is to give you an idea. The problem with that is, you might just be in your head giving them an idea. If they look at that creative, because it's so subjective, creativity and marketing, and it's their business. If they look at that and they get the ick from some little thing that you've done wrong on there, or they don't like the colour, or they don't like one word you've used, that's it, proposal down the toilet. Whereas they're already bought in, if they come in, especially if they come in as an inbound lead. You go in with a proposal about who you are as an agency and what you can do, and then later on, then you work as a creative and get paid from day dot. It was actually an error, was giving away ideas early.
Yeah,
because it got us less business.
Yeah, but most struggling creatives wouldn't even recognise that, would they?
No.
They'd think, oh, if I do all this, I might get the gig.
Exactly, which is mental. You've got to think about how much time it takes. And ideas aren't easy. People might think they are. All those people putting comments in Thursday's box, it took them 2 seconds. Most of them were absolutely dog shit.
Mine was good. I don't know. If we can pull mine up, it should win.
As always.
So I guess for those who missed that, you managed to get them on a call, George on a call.
Kind of grown arms and legs in the last 24, 48 hours, and now it's getting a bad rep from a lot of people. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on what's happened the last 48 hours.
The intention of this was never to cause offense to anyone. It was very much just a LinkedIn post of, hey, we're going to ask our community of people that follow us and like to engage just for a bit of fun of any cool one-liners that they might have.
And caused a bit of a stir on social media.
Yeah, that's what surprised me, to be fair. So obviously when it broke, I thought this is perfect for Views My Own, because obviously we talk about stuff like this that goes on every month, stuff that's been happening in marketing. The Thursday story was like the biggest story of that 48 hours. And I personally felt at the time that George hadn't deliberately done this to lure in creatives and get loads of copy written for him. I just thought it was a bit of fun. Scroll past it if you don't like it, or don't have a go if you don't like it. And it wasn't taking the money out of the pocket of copywriters and creatives. Like, you know, if you've got a problem with it, you're not going to enter it. That's how I saw it at the time. Anyway, a lot of people thought that. 48 hours after the post came out, he started to get a bit of shit. So we asked him to come on VAMO. We told him we'd spoke about their guerrilla marketing stunts, because you've praised Thursday a few times on previous episodes. Yeah, and the prick then said he didn't think it was being recorded. And I just thought, what a weird thing to say. When we said, this is going to be on Views My Own. Do you want us to send you it before we post it? You can have a look at it before it comes out. He was fine with all that. What did he think, number one? We were sat in a studio. He spoke like to the videographer.
Calls, mate. In full studio, still full studio.
That's true.
With a team around you.
Like, what did he think? What did he think was happening? And what did he think we were talking about at the beginning of the video? And we were like, we spoke about it in previous episodes and blah blah blah.
It was mental. I mean, I went a roller coaster of emotions with George, because, you know, obviously I saw the first campaign and I thought, Belland. Yeah. You know, obviously is privately educated.
Nothing wrong with that.
Just learned that Mike was privately educated the other day.
Right, so,
secrets out. Secrets out, everybody.
Honestly,
the working class hero.
The army pay for a big contribution. Right, I'm the poorest posh person.
If it helps, you can't tell.
I think that's a compliment.
But yeah, George, and the first campaign, I was like, you know, I love the marketing, and it feels to me like someone good in marketing has left, and now the founders are trying to do the same, because, you know, they stuck a camel in London. Thought it was funny. It's not funny playing with animals. Number two, they did this campaign asking for free work off creatives, right? And that pissed me off, right? Then you got him a call. I thought, right, great. Get all my notes together. Gonna go in on this guy. And then he was lovely.
I thought he was quite sound.
It was lovely. It was lovely. He took it all on the chin. I thought everything he said was intelligent, and I thought, well, you know, fair enough. Like I get it. It was, you know, it was a marketing activity. It worked, and he said he got the downloads from it, and I thought, fair enough. Like, okay, I like him. And then he came on and says this, fucking, what did he say? You didn't tell me this was being recorded.
We did the post afterwards and put the video out to say, look, we got the CEO on from Thursday. Here's what he thought. And then his post was, you didn't tell me this was being recorded, but that's cool. I hope your exploitation. But he's put that as if like, we've said that he's exploited people. I don't know.
He never said the word exploitation, so that's in the back of his mind. If anything.
You can't put something in quotes that's
you're feeling guilty there, George.
Of this situation and comment on this brings you the huge impressions that you're looking for. The irony, but that's not ironic.
Yeah, that's not ironic. And also, learn what irony means, George. But the other thing is we've come kind of back to.
But also, then people thought this was a joint.
Well, the thing is, I thought it was a joint thing. But now I've come back, and now I'm wondering, has George put that on purpose as a marketing thing?
Yeah, no, I think that is what he's done.
If that's the case, George, we're back mates again.
I think you're giving him too much credit.
I think you've called him a prick and a belly, and mates might be gone by now.
That's what I think. Like, so Dan thought, prick, actually, he's come on, it's grown arms and legs, it wasn't what he thought. Prick again, but actually, it's now turned out quite clever marketing. So he's gone from marketing genius to absolute bellend.
He got 125 likes. People liked that reply, didn't they?
Yeah, but that's because they all Thursday.
There was a few curious all Thursday games.
How many of them are using the app? How many of you lot are using the app? Let's go through, shall we? Let's see
Happily
how many
married.
of these people are using the app. None of them are using the app.
Right,
They're all in the 50s.
Just as a random one, it's just the hashtag writer's block. It's not,
Yeah,
you've not
that's
got
true.
writer's block.
Hashtag
Yeah.
and shoot your shot with a kiss. It's
Yeah.
weird.
So also as well, right? If he's asking for fucking, he's saying I'm not asking for writers. I wasn't asking for writers.
Yeah.
And then you put writer's block though. I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
The people who get writer's block are generally people who are going to write.
I
and
did
they're
like one
writers.
comment, just a random one that said, copywriters and creatives didn't invent words. Which, like,
Yeah,
you've not got a monopoly on words, Dan.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, brain surgeons didn't invent brains either, but don't let me touch one, are you?
On social media platforms, once someone else comments or engages with your post, it can then get seen by who wouldn't necessarily be your core audience. So there's some people there that don't really know the context, probably haven't watched the video, have just seen George's comment show up in their newsfeed and gone, oh, I like George, so I'm going to agree with him, back him, or whatever, without knowing the context. Because if you look, like...
Do you think Elliot Larson was one of those?
But yeah, Elliot Larson was one of my funniest comments, Dan. He had a few strong words. I say strong words. A few words to say about you.
Elliot Larson, no profile picture as usual. Dan sounds like a drip to me.
That's got one like as well.
Yeah.
From you work.
So wait a sec, you say he's part of the community as well?
If he's not, he likes a lot of the Views My Own posts on Twitter.
We're at the start of building the community, and I've already got someone who doesn't like me in there, slagging me off.
You're winning.
But what's good though, Dan, is this is a platform where you can have different views with people, and you don't have to abuse them.
Fuck his views. Get rid of him.
But I think I actually did a post about Thursday saying, "Are Thursday the new Brewdog?"
Honestly, if they carry on with marketing campaigns like this, they're heading that way.
Yeah.
Right? They're heading that way. I've heard, I'm going off, like, just here you say, I've heard the app's not, I'm not single, so I haven't used it, but I've heard the app's not very good.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know anyone that's been on it.
I should be the target
Yeah.
market. I have never had an ad for Thursday. I've only ever heard of it from LinkedIn.
There you go. At least Brewdog's beer tastes nice, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it used to be called Honey Pot
It's all right.
Thursday.
Oh, did
and
it?
They rebranded.
So they
Yeah.
rebranded
did
it.
Yeah.
Which the other CEO was called Matthew McNeil Love, which is a good name for a dating app, isn't it?
Double-barreled. Bet
Yeah.
you know a lot of those, those guys.
No, not in my school. The roughest. Yeah. A lot of my classmates, alumni, is that what we call them? I don't know what we call them.
Alumni.
Illuminati, I think.
Illuminati.
Yeah.
That's where it started.
So creatives, should you be working for free? In an ideal world, the answer is no, but the reality is there's so many creatives and freelancers out there. Now, I think, personally, sometimes you've got to do that. Because we would say if you're going to set up your own business and learn skills, like you'll probably take a pay cut to go and work somewhere to get that experience. So I think it's a necessary evil. As much as I'd like to say, charge your worth and don't do it.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is now it's that competitive and you are probably going to get stung a few times. That's all part of your learning. Like you said about learning how to charge your worth and being crap at it and learning why you're charging people. I think to be a good freelancer or be a good creative, you have to almost go through that baptism of fire, get stung, get burnt a little bit. You've got to earn your stripes, as they say. But maybe I'm just saying that as an old person that's never had to do this before. If you've not got a paying client as a freelance marketer, I would probably say go and speak to a few companies on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn and say, look, you don't get many clients. Let me almost learn and build your business and test my skills on your business in a live environment, whether it's right or wrong. But I think if they're a huge organization asking people to do that, that's a completely different thing. If you're posting £1 million, £2 million, £3 million, £4 million profits, but then you're getting someone to go through a 6-month recruitment campaign and giving you a year's worth of creative for free, I think that's wrong.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? If you're uncreative, do what you want.
Do what you want. Don't listen
What
to
about
it.
your brand?
Yeah, our way isn't necessarily
And
right.
brands,
I'm just telling you.
a message to brands that are saying, doing posts like this, like Thursday. If anyone else said this, say if someone else did this, say if Gymshark did this, is an interesting one. Say if Gymshark did this, and they did something similar recently.
Yeah.
They didn't get the same kind of shit. They were like, can you do a post here and see you can come up with the best ideas for Gymshark? Have got a partnership with someone. I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And I just thought, do Gymshark get away with it because they're a more likable company and Ben Francis is a more likable person?
Yeah. Well, I think I didn't notice that one. Otherwise, I would have gone at them as well. But I think the reality is as well is it's Thursday and Brewdog and all these people aren't going to give a fuck anyway. It's just the creative industry going after them.
Yeah,
they're not really doing that much damage. And guess what? If Brewdog dropped in my inbox tomorrow and said, "Here's a brief, fancy doing a bit of work," I'd give it a go.
So, views my own. We have got views and principles, unless there's some money in it.
Yeah, the things I'll do for money.
The bandwagon effect refers to people in marketing doing things just because other people are doing it. Pride Week, International Women's Day, April Fool's marketing, alongside other marketing trends that emerge every year. Is this the perfect opportunity to show the fun side of your business, or could it be quite damaging? We wanted to give our views, whether it's worth jumping on that bandwagon or swerving the next marketing trend.
What are your views on bandwagon marketing?
I hate it. Absolutely hate it. I worked in a company that made us do the Harlem Shake in a call centre in Warrington. Yeah. But we weren't early to it. And this was before TikTok, by the way.
Yeah.
But this
Are you really good at body popping as well?
Eh?
Can you body pop?
No, can I football still? No.
Bring up the footage.
Yeah. So we had to do the Harlem Shake, and it was full on like, right, everybody, we need to bring in outfits, and they went to town, had gone, bought those outfits for us, and it was like, we did tenant referencing as a fucking business. Right? Do you know what I mean? Tenant moves in, we just check if they work where they work. That's it. Yeah. But we were about 8 weeks late to the craze, and there wasn't even TikTok at the time, so it wasn't even like it was a trending hashtag.
Yeah.
It was literally us posting it on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
3 weeks later, it's like, oh wow, it's the 1,700th mannequin challenge or Harlem Shake ever. I hate it.
That's absolutely mental. The thing is, right, with brands, it says all the time, like, rather than let's say it's Pride Week, right? You're gonna jump on and rather than do your logo as the Pride flag and that's it, that's your entire involvement. Don't do something for it, right? And then on the other weeks, the normal weeks of the year, then show your support for LGBTQIA+, right? And then guess what? You'll stand out. Just don't attack topics on the same time that everyone else does it, because you just get lost in the mire. The only way you can do bandwagon marketing nowadays, because it's that saturated, is if it's good enough to stand out. Like if it's so far removed from anything else that anyone else has ever done before. Yeah. Otherwise, it doesn't stand out. On the days like, so I'd advertise on I'd say on Pride Week, don't do anything for Pride Week.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice that Pride Week is a week, but be the brand that supports it all year with different stuff, right? On that week, do something different, and then you stand out.
Yeah.
Have you seen any good examples of bandwagon marketing?
I'm trying to think of one that's decent. I mean, the only one was that the some brands go really far with April Fool's marketing. I managed to get it right. That's the only time that This Is Bacon thing was brilliant, where they pretended that they were growing meat in their factories. Yeah. I thought that was genius. Right.
What's good about that is that's actually, it sounds like it could damage a brand, so you're more likely to believe that is a true breaking news story and isn't anything to do with April Fools.
Yeah, it's clever. It's really clever. And you guys got your pants down by a beer brand, didn't you?
Well, Ian bounced in on, like, I hate April Fools marketing. I think it's absolute dog shit. But Ian genuinely bounced in, thinking he'd won like a year's supply of beer. Or it might have been a lifetime supply of beer.
Lifetime supply of beer and a gold-plated Craftmaster's glass.
And a black card as well.
Yeah, and a black card. But fair play to them. They carried the gag right through to, you had to put in your user code at checkout and everything like that. So
the code was Sleuth Lurper, which backwards is April Fools.
Right.
But you text your brothers, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, it got me hook, line and sinker.
Yeah.
Offer me a free lifetime supply of beer and I am in.
You text me saying, everything's looking up, it's been a bad month. So look at this, and I was like, it looks legit. It looks so good. And then it's all fake.
So so your experience after that, did that leave you a bad taste in your mouth about that company?
I'm never buying their beer ever again. Unless they send VAMO a crate of beer. No, it's not.
So this is the thing with stuff like that, right?
That's what I mean. I would have thought you've not found that funny and gone, oh, actually, I will buy their beer. And I've actually gone, I actually feel like ripped off now.
Yeah. Well, this is the risk with it. And I was wondering that, because when we put loads of parking tickets on cars, that didn't do anything for downloads or business. It just pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah.
There are certain things in there, but I think that's more about thinking about your target audience, though.
Yeah.
Right? Think about the men who you're sending that to, and it will break their world when they find out they're not getting free beer because they'll have been celebrating. They'll tell all the mates, and then they're going to look like a bellend at the end of the day. So they're not going to be happy.
Bloody hell, it was 3 tokens for a blowjob as well. No, it's not real, Ian. It's not real. But yeah, like, I thought that was hilarious, but I just thought, how the hell have you fallen for that?
I mean, yeah, mate. I mean,
I'm going to back him up. It looked legit.
Yeah.
When you went on the website,
it wasn't just me. Lots of people kicked off about this, didn't they? It was on the news.
Do you remember in the
sense.
olden days before? So I think the problem with any type of marketing, and I think this with lots of things, by the way, it's very easy for anybody to produce content now and get it out there to the masses. You can produce music in your bedroom. It can be on like Reddit or whatever. You can post it to the world. I think now because it's so easy to do social media posts, there's too many people doing too much shit like this. So they don't seem to be... Good ones are few and far between. I remember in times gone by, I sound really old on this episode, don't I? Let's try something. Times gone by where there wasn't social
5
media.
channels.
But I remember one from back in the day where I remember Channel 5 being launched, actually.
Yeah, me too.
yeah. It's really rude on it back in the day. It's not anymore.
Yeah, it's not.
Disappointingly.
But there was a news report about spaghetti growing on trees in Italy. And that people actually believe that. And it was brilliant because it was actually on telly, so it felt like it had some sort of authority. But when you see something on Twitter or a screenshot, I remember seeing one that...
Where does spaghetti grow then?
It doesn't grow on trees. Have you not seen it? You've seen like cutting off with scissors. Has anyone seen this advert?
I have seen it, yeah.
Spaghetti tree hoax.
But it's like a classic. Like that worked really well because it was done in such a way where it was big and believable. But now
that's funny.
Stuff with Photoshop and all that, I think it's the barrier of entry to do any of these kind of stunts is so low that's why there's so many shit ones now.
Yeah, definitely. I think, and a lot of stuff's been done before. You've got to go think really outside the box nowadays to be able to go on a bandwagon and, you know.
So what do you say to a business owner like me, or within the VAMO community? It's Pride Week's coming up, or any of these is coming up. Yeah. Surely there's a pressure to get involved, though. Yeah, there's always... Same with April Fools. April Fools came around, LinkedIn, everybody was doing some form of it.
Do you know what, though? There's a different day every day, though. That's the thing now. There's an actual calendar you can get online with like 365 different things. If your marketing team is coming up with a social media post for National Pirate Day and a social media post for whatever... There's a funny story behind that, but I won't go into it. But if your social media team's doing that, you've probably got a shit marketing team.
Yeah, and also you're leaving things to the last minute as well. Like, not every good piece of marketing has to be reactive. People have been, you know, wanking off Burger King's tweets for that long now that everyone thinks that good marketing is only reactive marketing when someone does a clever tweet. Actually, that's not good marketing. That's just being witty.
Yeah.
Plenty of witty people out there. Good marketing is thinking in advance what you can do over the course of a year and getting results from it. And that shouldn't mean...
It's got to be aligned to a result or an objective to help you achieve more sales or more downloads or whatever it might be.
You shouldn't have... If you've got a social media team sat there and all they're doing is going, oh, fuck, it's Pride Week next week, we need to do something. That's shit. You shouldn't be doing that. You should already be prepared, right? If you want to do something for the community, then do it on different months. You want to back causes in your own time. People will respect your brand more for that, and it'll look more authentic.
Yeah, look what we've got coming up in May here. We've got Star Wars Day, obviously May the 4th. International Hummus Day on the 13th of May.
There's a lot you could do with that. Yeah, I
I
don't think that one's saturated yet.
International Day of Light, World Baking Day, National Walnut Day,
right?
World Bee Day.
Okay.
Bee Day.
B-Day.
I'd do that if I was sold bathrooms. That'd be a good one.
That's a play on words.
Bit of a twist there.
Do you think they could bring B-Days over it? I did think this when I went Lanzarote and I thought, B-Days are brilliant.
Yeah.
Never had such a clean bum.
Which way do you face the tap or back?
No, you stick it. You put it.
Straddle it.
Do you?
I don't know. There's no instructions.
Do you insert it?
But yes, there's so many days. National Donut Day, Cheesecake Day, what we've got, International Hamburger Day.
I mean, there's loads. It's ridiculous. World Tapas Day.
I say June's full every single day.
Yeah.
Wow. There's quite a few in June, isn't there?
National Selfie
National
Day.
Pineapple Day. What do people do on that?
Yeah, it's just mad, isn't it?
Pizza, won't it?
But you know, there's some social
posts.
media
Should
team
pineapple
in there.
be on pizza?
Yeah. There'll be people now on Canva actually planning all these, and they'll be scheduled now to be going out on all these different days, and it'll be tenuously linked to their business.
Yeah, the way the reason you've got that is because you've probably got what I call an executor in a creatives position. Not in creative teams, you generally have two types of people. You have really good executors who are brilliant at making stuff look polished and amazing and nice and, you know, pixel perfect. And then you have creatives who are really, really good at developing conceptual ideas and thinking outside the box. A lot of marketing teams, if you got a marketing team that's just made up of executors, they end up doing shit like this.
Yeah.
It looks fancy, it looks lovely, it looks polished, but it's shit. Because the ideas are shit and they've got no creative ideas. Creative ideas in themselves is a skill. So if you find you're having this problem as a business, you need to probably find yourself a conceptual creative.
Yeah.
To work alongside your good executors.
So would you do anything for, say, Black History Month or Pride or International Women's Day?
No. We do stuff. We've done stuff before in the past to take the piss out of stuff that other people have done.
Have you had clients ask you for something for those days?
Yeah, we just tell them to fuck off.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because it's shit. I mean, the only time we haven't told them to fuck off is when it's like Ladbrokes. I mean, they tell us to do something. I mean, we have to do it. But the small brands, fuck you want my bands. I'll tell you what to do.
Yeah, it's interesting because there'll obviously be a lot of people in there that are kind of in charge of their own marketing if they're like a small business or whatever. So would you say steer clear of any sort of themed?
Yeah. Work to make your brand stand out. I mean, I don't want to praise Thursday anymore, you know, but the fact of the matter is they've created a way of guerrilla marketing that is unique to them, that people look out for, that they expect to be different. They're not sat there jumping on bandwagons necessarily. The Camel one was April Fool's, but it was well, it wasn't, was it? It was Hump Day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a Hump Day one.
But I think, you know,
they got a lot of stick for that, though, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I didn't agree with it, but don't jump on bandwagons. Develop your own market strategy. Think of something unique, and something that's going to look entirely different to anything else you've seen out there. And if you do that consistently over the course of a few years, you will build a decent brand. You don't have to do this bullshit.
Yeah.
More and more of these nonsense days are getting made up.
Did you see on International Women's Day there was businesses were all doing their sort of, here's our treat for the day. We've wheeled out the one woman that's in a management position to talk to the company on these days, like those types of posts.
Yeah.
And then someone had made a Twitter account which was the gender pay gap bot.
Yeah.
And I don't know what data it searched. It might have.
It was from the government website.
So the government website. So it searched data. So when someone did a post and then it would literally retweet the tweet with what was the gender pay gap in that business. And so many businesses got caught like doing sort of like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70%
That's genius.
Pay gap.
Genius.
That it actually made loads of companies take down their tweets because they were embarrassed.
I'll tell you what as well.
But that's brilliant. Whoever set that up, by the way.
If someone, it's brilliant as a thingy. But if someone had set that up as a marketing activity for a piece of HR software, that'd be genius.
Yeah,
that'd be genius. But that's, I mean, standalone, it's
But
brilliant.
look at that. Even their banner, their deeds, not words. So like your brand is what. It's not just what you say; it's what other people think about you or what you actually do. Is that right?
Yeah. The other thing as well is I like stuff like this where you're pointing stuff out, but then sometimes I question, they've done all that, but what are they doing to fix it? But you're highlighting it, but what are you actually doing to address the problem other than addressing the problems in other people's organisations? So
that's the end of this month's free chat. We'll be continuing this conversation over in our private community. When you join, you get access to our private online channel, weekly newsletters with insights and challenges to help you improve your business. You also get access to full-length episodes where we answer your questions. To receive all of that, click the link below this video or go to viewsmyown.social.